Hello, this is Nick Lightbody at Deskspace Systems. I'm going to give you a quick look at some of the themes that come bundled with the next version of deskspaceCMS. deskspaceCMS is aiming to be the best and the fastest CMS for websites. So if you find that creating websites in various CMS platforms like WordPress can get a little bit tedious, then you may find it useful to take a look at deskspaceCMS, where we make the process a lot faster, simpler and easier, and the sites themselves perform much better. On the screen we've got a sample page content. We've got a number of pages here we've just put together. Hit the plus button a few times and just taken sample pages and named them to give a couple of different sections. We've then built all the pages and we get that. I'm now going to go through some of the different themes so you can see what they look like. This first theme is called Berlin. This is Cambridge, Capo Verde, Hobart, Ionian, Leatherhead, Brighton, Christchurch. This is minimal, which means we've actually taken out virtually all of the styling, and so that's coming out as a very basic HTML page, ultra fast and very simple without styling. But as I'll show you in a moment, that's all a question of what values you put into the setting the fields. Nottingham, Santa Clara, Somerset. Actually, looking at that one, the section at the bottom, the menu, the text is a little bit on the dark side, so let's just change that to white, shall we? So we're reviewing this theme, we're taking a look at the menus, we're looking at the site index, which is here, and that one there. If we change that to white, that looks better, doesn't it? That's how easy it is to change these things. So that's now Somerset. This is called Sussex. This is Sydney, and this is slightly different to the others. It's a single column one. So if we go like this, everything stays on the left. If we look at this, you can see that you've got two columns when it's wide and when it's narrow. So if I go back through these again in the narrow format, you can see how they look when they're like that. Now, you can have as many different themes in a deskspaceCMS app as you want. The reason for that is that while we provide you with some themes that we've done previously for other people, you're at liberty, once you have a pro license, to make as many themes as you want, to do whatever you want to them. And the themes are a combination of CSS, about 250 values that control fonts, colours, sizes, borders, backgrounds, etc., together with some expressions used to build the pages in the app. And all of that, if you want to go into it, is adjustable. Let's take a look quickly. So here are the themes page. Here's the themes we just looked at. And supposing that you like the look of this Somerset theme, for example, you can click the duplicate button, make a new theme there. This is, call it my new theme. We need to give it a number to make sure that the number doesn't exist somewhere else, so let's call it number 16. If the number isn't unique, then you won't see it. And we will close that now. We're going to change our page to our new theme, my new theme Somerset, and now we can start playing with it. So let's say we don't like this blue background colour here. Go into theme, we're looking at H6, there's the background colour for H6, let's just remove that background colour, okay? And supposing that we've got some very, very subtle background on H3 and H5. Supposing we want the title to be centered, not right aligned, there it is, centered. We want to have the text a little bit wider, and let's say we want H2 to work in a similar way, so we want H2 to be centered, again with slightly wider text. Okay, so that is your new theme, and your new theme is going to change however you wish to change it. So running swiftly through the settings we have here, we can set the default font family and H1 through to H6 to any font family we want. So let's say that we want to have something completely different here. We've changed the default to Arial, black, etc. And if I take out all of the other fonts, you can see that the default is now defining the main page, and we need to also take out the defaults for the top nav, the site index and the footer. So now the whole thing is now in that default font, and we look at it and review it and say, well, actually we quite like that, but we actually want the H2 to be a little bit different. Go in here, select the H2 and decide we want to do something like that with it. Rather horrible that, isn't it? Let's say courier. There we are. And we want the courier to be a bit more bold, perhaps. There we are. So you need to understand with a deskspaceCMS site that because it's fully responsive, this means it has a number of breakpoints. This particular system is designed with 4 breakpoints. Let's look at page behavior here. So these are the media breakpoints. Now these are pixels, and these are the width of the media, that's the display, at which the CSS changes from one set of settings to another. And specifically in our case, the way that we've designed this means that the font sizes are going to change. So if you're looking at a page on a device which is, for example, 350 pixels wide, you'll get the page in the base style, which is going to be something rather like that. If you then turn the device sideways so that the width becomes over 370 on the current setting here, then as you do that, the font sizes will all change, and that's where they are here. So you see base, small, medium, large, extra large. So it means that the H1, for example, in base is going to be 2.8 m in size, and when the display gets a little bit wider and goes over 370, it'll be 2.7 m wide. And this applies for H1 through to H6. So for each of those 5 different styles of text, H1 to H6, you've then got 6 different styles of text, you've then got 5 different font sizes in this matrix. The column here changes the weight, as we saw just now. And then below this we've got the text style. We've got background colours, type colours, border colours, and whether the border is used and what width it is. So for example, we are going to say that we've got a just so we can see it nicely. Let's say we've got a red border for H1, and we'll say that H1 is going to be 3 on the top, and maybe it's going to be 5 on the bottom. Okay, so that's how you can change that very quickly and easily. We've already looked at alignment, and the last column here is the space or the indent. So the first two, H1 and H2, you can change the character spacing on the text, and then down here we can actually give it first line indents. So if you want to do a more book style site, for example, where instead of having a white block of space, or a clear block of space between each paragraph, you want the paragraphs to be nestled up close together but with first line indents, then you can do that here if that's just the style you want to achieve. Okay, so we'll just take those out again. The next thing to know is that for all of these settings here, you've got a second set of the same settings that apply only to the page you're on. So when you alter these settings, these change the entire theme, or at least they change every page to which the theme relates. So let's quickly go and make sure the theme relates to everything. So I'm going to change the default theme for the site to my new theme, set it to the default. Okay, this now means that all of my pages, they've all got the same content, but they all look the same. Okay. If I now decide that on one particular page I want it to be a bit different, then I can change it here. So supposing that on this particular page I want the H1 to be Century Gothic, then that's what I've got. It means that if I go to the next page, it's still in Arial Black, but that page has now got a page override to be different. So you can see that this gives you considerable flexibility. We've got page overrides on the page behavior. So on the page width, the column break is the most usual one that you'll use. So for example, if you say that you want to have the left-hand column at 50% rather than 61%, then that's how you do it. Or indeed, you might want to have a very narrow left-hand column, 25%. You'll see the right-hand column just goes to the balance. And if you set the left-hand column to 100%, the right-hand column just about disappears, although in reality you'll want to set up your text so there isn't actually any content for the right-hand one as well. You can see we can change the breakpoints on a page-by-page basis here as well. We can also change the colour of the hyperlinks. So if we have a hyperlink in the page, we can decide what colour it is. We've got the same setup for the top navigation, which is here, the site index, which is here, and the footer, which is down here. Exactly the same structure as you've seen already for the page, with the type style here and the overrides here. So I hope you found that helpful. Thanks very much for watching.